There are places that we sense, but cannot name. Words just beyond our grasp. Are they tricks of the mind? Or are they evidence that we truly are never alone? Tonight we step into the veil of hidden worlds.
So there are some fantastic legends, but they're usually things associated with cryptozoology-type creatures, fairies, Loch Ness Monster, dare I mention, and a few things like that. And there is a school of thought that some of these things do exist, and some people really do believe they do exist. But, you know, I'm not so sure in that respect, but I certainly believe in the afterlife and, the ongoing existence.
Every culture speaks of layered worlds. The Norse had Yggdrasil, binding 9 realms together. The Greeks placed rivers beneath the earth, dividing life from death. The Celts told of the shimmering otherworld, sometimes reached through caves, mounds, or water. At Dinino Den, the veil feels thinner. Offerings left to the Fae still whisper of an older knowing that we live among other realms.
There is a tale of a piper who vanished in this very glen. This is Dinino Den, this area, and right where I am at is what's called the glen. The piper vanished right into this rock, or so the story goes, for his music never to be heard again, except maybe by those in the world that he vanished to. Locals do say that on still nights, you can hear the sound of his notes, though, floating on the wind from a world that we humans do not know.
Shadow beings appear across centuries, dark figures glimpsed in the corner of the eye, silent watchers at the threshold. Some describe them as neutral, others as bringers of dread. Are they fragments of our psyche, or visitors from just beyond the veil?
In Greyfriars, incredible place, people whisper of the Mackenzie poltergeist, the shadow that's said to lash out at trespassers. Some leave with scratches. I know Sarah Lemos, our psychic medium, who, with us, she experienced that very thing. And then others, they get nothing more than a chill they cannot shake. Incredible what you can feel. But Jung suggested another possibility, that the shadow might be us, the fears, the griefs, and angers that we bury, emerging in forms that we can no longer ignore. But what if some shadows aren't ours? What if they belong to something else entirely?
They say there's a stone bridge somewhere in the Highlands, where the veil runs thin as breath on a winter's night. Long ago, a woman was seen there, walking alone after her brain had taken ill. Her heart was heavy, her prayers unanswered. But as she crossed the bridge, a light glitzed before her, just a flicker, like the last flare of a candle. Out of the light came a figure, tall, no wings to see. But the air about him stirred, like a storm, but kept in silence. She said his eyes were the color of the sea in a tempest, but kind, kinder than any she had known. The angel spoke no words. Instead, he laid a hand upon her shoulder. And in that touch, she heard it all. The comfort, the promise, the knowing that death was not an ending, but a doorway. When the light faded, the woman was still alone. But she crossed the bridge with no more fear in her bones. Her bairn did not live through the night, yet she swore she never truly lost him, for the angel had shown her he was safe beyond the veil. And even now they say, if you linger there too long, you'll feel it yourself. A hush, a chill, and then a warmth that fills your chest. Not every shadow belongs to the Fae. Sometimes the watchers are angels, and they come when the night is the darkest. From angels to fae, demons to cryptids, legends tell of beings who step between worlds. In Scotland, tales of the Sith, the fairy folk, are tied to hidden glens like this one. To enter such places was to risk never returning.
Was in Ireland, and I was actually on an incredible tour with some great individuals, and I found my way out to the front of the castle. And when I was in front of the castle, I actually saw these little lights, these brilliant little lights. Now, some of you may think that it would be like a firefly, right? No, because a firefly doesn't explode. So these would move up and pop, and then move up and pop, and there was thousands of them. So I asked the chef who I was walking with, what am I seeing? And he says, Sarah, you finally see the Fae. And in that moment, I started bawling hysterically because it was a light show. There was nothing but these lights everywhere. And it was such an incredible experience that I lost my mind. So there was a sound behind me, and one thing you never do is turn your back on the Fae. There was a very large dog that walked behind me. Me and the chef turned our backs to the Fae, and when we turned our backs around, they were at our feet. Now, I've never been so startled, and he stomped his foot and screamed, "Get back!" And you watched an ocean wave of lights move back into the forest.
I think imps are tied in with she and the fairy folk, just as gnomes are, as all these kind of things. I think they're all one and the same.
Okay.
Just different names to them, I think.
Okay.
So the second, well, I've had many experiences, but an experience that I just had, which was this week, we were investigating or walking through a graveyard here in Scotland, where we made our way over to a certain section. Now, it was really interesting because it was almost as if I got too close too quick, because I was definitely slapped, telling myself to move back quickly. It was definitely a slap, and I feel like there was a mark, and it felt as like there was a burning sensation. So I got clearly too close.
Thin places exist across the world, but here in Scotland they are carved into stone. Cathedrals that crumble yet still pulse with presence. Underground vaults where merchants once traded, and where whispers remain long after. Portals may not be gates of light, but thresholds of perception.
Are these truly entrances to other worlds? Or do they alter consciousness, allowing us to perceive what is usually hidden? Perhaps the veil isn't only out there. Perhaps it is us.
Some hidden worlds aren't places to walk, but rather frequencies to attune. Quantum theory suggests parallel realities, infinite in number, brushing against our own. In dreams, shamans, mystics, and ordinary dreamers describe temples of light or cities beyond time. There's an old Highland tale of the Ek Ushika, the water horse. It appears in dreams before storms, luring dreamers to the shore. Some wake with wet footprints at their door, while others never wake at all. Dreams, it seems, are not just stories, they are doorways.
Through the mist on moor and hill, voices call, the air grows still. Shadows weave where dreams have lain, old truths stir beneath the rain. Hidden worlds beyond the veil, where heart and starlight tell their tale. Between the seen and what's concealed, the soul remembers, the veils are peeled.
When we talk about hidden worlds, we often picture the ones closest to us, our dreams, shadows, the thin places that we walk through daily without seeing. But the truth is, the veil is not unique to Scotland. It is not European or Celtic or tied to any one tradition. It's global. Across the planet, cultures separated by continents and oceans have described the same phenomenon, unseen realms that exist beside our own, sometimes brushing up against our reality with a whisper, or a shimmer, or a sudden shift in the air. Let's widen the lens and step beyond Scotland into the lesser-known hidden worlds of Earth. In the deserts of Australia, the Aboriginal people speak of the dream time, not just a myth, but a parallel layer of existence, a landscape where ancestral beings shaped the world and continue to move through it. The dream time is not past tense, it's ongoing. It's a living frequency, a realm where creation and now coexist. To walk through certain parts of the outback is to walk on top of a world still dreaming itself into being. And halfway across the ocean, in the Polynesian islands, the Maori of New Zealand describe the Po, the deep night realm. This is not darkness as absence, but rather darkness as origin, a fertile, sacred dimension where spirits, ancestors, and gods reside. When someone passes, it is said they travel along the path to Cape Reinga, the northernmost tip of the island, where a lone twisted tree leans over the sea. It is here, according to Maori cosmology, that the soul slips into the next world, a literal doorway at the end of the land. Move north into the mountains of Tibet, where the people speak of Shambhala, a hidden kingdom described in ancient Buddhist texts. Not a mythic utopia, but a place said to exist simultaneously in the physical world and a higher dimension. Countless explorers tried to find it, none succeeded. Yet the monks say Shambhala cannot be found. It must be revealed. A reminder that some worlds open only to those ready for them. Across the ocean in Mexico, the Mayans spoke of the place of fright, a vast underworld that isn't hellish in the Western sense, but a realm of trials and transformations and initiation. The entrance, according to legend, lay through limestone caves and cenotes, dark pools where sunlight never reaches. These caves are still seen as living portals today. Divers descend into them knowing the water is clear, but the spiritual weight is heavy. The place of fright is not a place to visit. It's a place that visits you. In the Congo Basin, the forest tribes speak of the Milimo, not just a ritual, but a connection point between humans and the spirits of the forest. They describe the jungle as layered, one visible, one vibrational. The Milimo ceremony is performed to wake the forest, because in moments of upheaval, the forest spirit withdraws, and its absence is felt. Even here, hidden worlds are relational. They respond, they shift, they breathe. And in the far north, the Sami people of Arctic Scandinavia tell of the Sihiva realms, sacred lakes believed to hold entrances to the spirit world. Not metaphorical entrances, actual ones. These lakes are said to be so calm, so impossibly still, that reindeer refuse to drink from them. The Sami say that in these waters live the Eva beings, helpers, guides, and occasionally protectors, who move between the human world and the unseen. Some fishermen tell stories of feeling watched by eyes beneath the ice in winter. Not malevolent, but ancient. Travel next to Japan, where the concept of kokoryo permeates folklore, the hidden world, a realm of spirits, ancestors, and yokai that coexists with our own. Many bridges in rural Japan are called floating bridges, believed to be places where the kokoryo touches the human world. Step onto them at dusk, and you might feel something shift. Not a presence, more like a thinning. And in Ireland, though better known, few speak of the Tecton, the House of Dun, an island thought to be a gathering place for souls after death, before they journey on. Some locals still say that on certain stormy nights you can hear voices across the waves. Not cries for help, but whispers of travelers between worlds. In Greece, beyond the popular myths, is the lesser-known tale of Hesperia. It's a land of eternal twilight where the Hesperides kept the golden apples of immortality. Some ancient writers insisted Hesperia wasn't allegory, but geography. Another land, another state, even another reality that one might access in moments when time folds. Not everything hidden wants to remain hidden. Some things want to be noticed. The flicker at the corner of your eye, the place where time feels strange, the sudden chill in an ancient grove. These aren't accidents, they're invitations. In our next journey, we'll explore the most mysterious hidden world of all, the self. Until then, listen closely. You are already walking through hidden worlds, whether you realize it or not.
Hidden worlds beyond the veil, where heart and starlight tell their tale, between the seen and what's they will not go on.